interviewing Orit Hassan from Israel. She has been writing and doing a lot of research for the last, I don't know, 20 years about computer science education in Israel. Thank you for agreeing to this interview.
Thank
And
you.
I don't know if you want to start talking about the program, or do you want me to rephrase the questions that we sent you?
Yes, I would prefer that you ask the questions and I will answer.
Okay, so we understand based on your book that computer science teachers in Israel have a solid training in both computer science and pedagogy. Um, we also understand that universities and institutes provide this training. Are there
Right.
specific approaches or professional development models that have been standardized throughout the country?
Okay. So Israel demands that all the, high school teachers will have at least master degree in computer science or in the subject matter that they teach, plus teaching certificate. However, it doesn't work all the time, as many teachers have also only the first degree, and some of them do not have even the first degree in computer science. Some of them changed their profession, so they may be a mathematics teacher, and they started teaching computer science gradually. But I think that most of them have computer science degree plus teaching certificate in computer science. Um, Now, this is a mandatory, this is a demand, and universities and colleges train in such a way, but the actual implementation varies between institutions. It varies in time of how many hours per week we teach the courses, how many courses there are in the teaching of computer science. But basically, we learn methods of teaching computer science. This is all and the practicum. These two elements are very important and they are implemented in all institutions. So,
Uh-huh.
for example, at the Technion, we have also a course on selected problems where we discuss, extensions and new development in computer science. This is not done in all cases, but the basic, the methods of teaching computer science and the practicum are taught everywhere.
And how long is the practicum? And is it separate from the main training? So you have,
No,
okay,
you do it in parallel. You learn the
okay,
methods of teaching and you do the practicum, but it's not the stage. After you finish your studying, you go to do a stage, like a real teaching with the guidance of a mentor. But
mm-hmm.
practicum is short, it's 1 day a week, it's not a full position. And when you graduate and you go to teach, you have a mentor. And
Okay.
for 4 years, I think you have a mentor who guides you in your teaching
So
before you get the teaching license.
how these two pieces of the teacher preparation curriculum articulate the theoretical part, which you were calling the methods of teaching computer science, and the practicum. You say they run in parallel. So is it the case that in every subject of teaching computer science, you have some hours dedicated to practicum in some assigned school? How does it work?
First of all, there is a paper about it that was published in Inroads about the connection between the practicum and the theory. You
Okay.
can read about it, and if you do not find it, let me know and I will send it to you.
Okay.
Okay, but basically it's not it's in parallel. Not all the time there are connections between the practicum is it takes place in the schools, and the schools have their own agenda and their own schedule. So, but we have an academic mentor and a teacher mentor. So from time to time, the academic mentor meets the student and they discuss problems that or issues or interesting events from the school. So it is a time when the academic mentor can um, point and highlight
Mm-hmm.
uh, themes that were discussed in the methods of teaching computer science course.
And is this the same teacher preparation for those who wants to start teaching in computer science, or and those who want to reconvert? You were saying that sometimes there are math teachers who want, is the same model.
The same. Yes, they learn the method of teaching computer science in the same course. And further, we think it's very important that the more expert, the teachers who have an experience, when they come to the method of teaching computer science, they have their previous experience in teaching. So this experience is important also for the new students. Yes, it's very important, and we do want them to teach together, to learn together how to become computer science teachers. Yes, it's very important.
And you mentioned, so the hours of training varies, that each institution has an autonomy, but is there a minimum amount of hours that is required, and what is that number?
Okay, so it's about, it's 36, it's about 30 credits. I think it's about 40 annual years, something like that. And the Ministry of Education in Israel is very central, and it requires that in order to get a teaching certificate in the high school, you should have basic requirements. But you have the global framework and basic requirements that all the programs should include. For example, psychology, introduction to psychology, introduction to the educational system, basic research skills. This is mandatory, and on the top of it, each institute can decide how to complete the amount of hours needed to complete this program. So at the Technion, because we are, we're a very good university, we do a lot of teaching computer science, because we understand that it's very important to know both computer science and how to teach it. So, for example, other institutions where they do not have many students and they are not of experts in computer science, sometimes they teach in the same class students who study science, teaching, mathematics teacher, computer science, physics, all these subjects together. But at the Technion, we attribute a lot of importance to the fact that the physics teacher will dedicate more time to the teaching physics, the chemistry to the chemistry, the computer science, mechanical engineering to mechanical engineering. Because it's high level in the high school in Israel, and it's important that the students will feel confidence also in the subject matter. They cannot teach computer, so that we dedicate also some of the courses to teach computer science topics. For example, now we teach them basic data science, because data science start to be taught in schools, and the teachers, the computer science teachers, should know data science, at least the introduction to data science. So we teach it to the students, because most of them did not learn it in the school. So in the method of teaching computer science, sometimes we teach also the subject matter and also its teaching.
So far, I think you were describing the teacher preparation for the high school teacher. Is that
right? Yes.
So how is the teacher preparation for the elementary school teacher, as we understand that Israel is moving into interesting computer science into elementary school?
Great. So in the last years, we have programs for the middle school and the elementary school. So the middle school is also done in the universities, but in the middle school, the elementary school, there are the teacher programs, that they workshops of 60 hours or something like that. The teachers from all disciplines, they study in these workshops, because they do not have, in the elementary school, they do not have computer science teachers, and they have to know basic computer science. and it goes very well. You know, there is a organization in Israel. It is called Mataf in Hebrew. It's a Central Educational uh, um, Education Center for Educational Technology. Okay,
Okay.
and it's called as SET, CET, and I can connect you if you want to the manager of the program.
Yes.
Yes, so they develop a textbook for elementary school teachers how to teach computer science with Scratch, and it goes very well. And they have the Ministry of Education guide the workshops, and this organization guide. So there are several workshops where the teachers of the elementary school can learn teach computer science in the elementary school. Yes.
Is this center belongs to the National Ministry of the Education? What's the, or
Okay.
it's an
It's
independent
interesting.
organization?
It's a third sector organization. It's non-profit organization, but it doesn't belong to the Ministry of Education. It is independent. However, many of the programs that the Ministry of Education wants to, to introduce to the schools, it uses the Central Center for Educational Technology for its implementation because they have all the infrastructures. It's so. For example, the center has a database with all the students. The database, all the classes, and
Right.
sometimes it gives the students the package. This is a package for the third grade. So it includes computer science and Bible and mathematics and literature. Okay, so it comes as a package. So it's
Yes.
very easy to do it via this organization.
And how does this organization get the funding, the main source of funding?
From the Ministry of Education.
Okay, okay. So
You know what? You will have to ask them. I think it comes from the Ministry of Education because I don't know, but I think so. In fact, yes, it
okay,
makes sense because yes, but I can connect you to the manager of this project of computer science, and they will. I'm sure that he will be able to talk to you.
thank you. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Just email me what you want, and I will introduce you.
Okay. And does Israel for you mentioned that they send packages already with the lessons and everything. Are you choosing any particular technology to introduce computer science in elementary school throughout the center? Like, for example, Raspberry Pi, Scratch, I don't know, or
Scratch,
Scratch?
Scratch. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. And as far as I know, there are two programs. One is of the Center for Educational Technology, and another one has been developed by another unit. And yes, it's only Scratch. Yes, only Scratch.
Okay. So,
In the elementary school, of course.
okay. In the book Guide to Teaching Computer Sciences, you write with detail how to think of and implement teacher professional development.
Just a moment. Okay, so can you say it again? Yes.
In your book
Mhm.
Guide to Teaching Computer Science, you write with detail how to think and implement teacher professional development and university training in computer science. We wanted to know if those recommendations are the result of your personal experience or you take that from other countries. You take models from other countries or from your research or
It's from our experience. As you could see, I wrote it with Tami Lapidot and Noah Gonis, and they are
uh-huh.
both experts. So the accumulated experience that we have in teacher preparation is huge. So all the activities, I think that yes, all of them are from our experience, and sometimes we ask. Uh, someone to contribute. So, for example, now the third edition of the book is going to be published in May, maybe it will be June. It will be delayed. It's the third
Congratulations.
edition. Thank you. So, for example, we have there two new chapters, one of data science education and
Okay.
one of computational thinking. So we asked our colleagues to work with us on this chapter because
Uh-huh.
we love to hear to learn from other people.
Okay. And
So
so how
yeah,
you are very you emphasize active learning as the
right,
model. How has
right.
been how has that play into practice? How, in other words, how hard is to convince people to use this model, and what are the main challenges, and what are the things that you recommend to replicate it? That uh,
Okay. When I teach, I have one rule. Okay, and the rule is uh, the less you talk, the better the lesson is.
uh-huh,
Okay. Okay, so you should give the students, the learner, one interesting problem, one good question, problem that they are interested to think about it, and and the rest just goes. It just goes because they work on the problem, they collect answers. These are open questions in most cases, so there's more than one way to solve it. And um, when they bring the solutions to the class, it does all the work because each solution, because the problems are so open but
mm-hmm,
interesting. When each group brings its solution to class and discuss it, um, the class just because they have all the teams. We in most cases work in teams. So after all teams have worked on this problem, they know what it means to work on it, solve it.
mm-hmm.
So when one group brings it uh, for discussion, presented for discussion in the class, the rest can talk about it because they just practiced it. So
Yes.
the role of the teacher in this model is to bring good questions, good problems, interesting dilemmas, to facilitate the discussion, and at the end, it's very important that the teacher does conclude the main point that have been discussed in the class, the interesting elements that the students mentioned. How is it connected to the curriculum of the course? How they can be used in the future professional development. So this is the role of the teacher to connect the local um, things that were said in the class to the more global environment of teaching and the students' professional development. It's very important that they will connect what has been discussed in the class to their own professional development. So the main, the most interesting parts of in this lesson, all the parts are important but from the teacher's perspective, it's the beginning, the introduction of a suitable problem, and then the conclusion at the end, and in between to facilitate the discussion and to
Well,
manage the class.
your concepts are so clear. Thank you so much.
Great,
That's
great,
very clear.
thank you.
Um,
Yes,
last
yes,
last
yes, sure.
question. I know you have to run to another meeting. What is the role of the National Center of Computer Science Education on the teacher preparation programs?
Okay, so the National Center for Computer Science Teachers does not train computer science teachers. It doesn't
Okay.
train. This is done by the universities and the colleges. However, what it does, it does the workshops for the teachers' professional development, which means that, for example, now if we have a new data science program for high school, okay, we have a new program, the teachers should be trained, should teach, should learn this concept.
Yes. Yes.
So the National Center for Computer Science Teachers, it provides the workshops of professional
Okay.
development.
I
Only
see.
this. It doesn't train. So when the students become computer science teachers,
Yes.
they join the center and
I see.
yes, one more interesting activity of the center. So basically, it takes care of the professional development of the teachers, and it has one unique model and thing that you will be interested to hear about it. It's there's a group of leading teachers, okay, and they sometimes they are committed to learn a new topic, and as part of their commitment, they are asked to teach the new topic to their own group. So, for example, if the leading teachers, there are about 30 leading teachers, if each of the one of them should teach 30 teachers the new topics, you have 900 teachers who are trained in this topic, and they have a summer seminar in which they learn the new topics, and they get very good, hospitality. They go to the hotel, and so and, they should return and to give to all the population, all the community of computer science teachers, what they have learned in this
Right.
workshop. Yes, in the summer.
One little thing, you mentioned that
Sure.
data science now will be part of the curriculum.
Okay. Do you know how the curriculum is built in high school in Israel?
Okay.
There are two units which are basics, okay? And there is a third unit which is you can select from many options. One
Okay.
is functional programming or logic programming or um, databases or HTML. So one of these units will be data science. It is
Okay.
under examination now. I think that 4 classes learn it this year. So we hope that gradually will be developed. But it's. Do you know what is data science?
Pardon me?
Do you know what is data science?
Yes, yes,
Okay, it's a huge topic.
yes.
Uh, it's not just computer science. It's mathematics and statistics. So many things you have in it. So it's very challenging to select what topics from all this richness to include in the high school computer science program in data science. Uh, and in the book, we will have one chapter about it. And I know that the books are very expensive. So when it is published and you want this chapter, I will send it to you. But I
Okay,
can
thank
tell
you.
you before it is published, okay?
Okay,
So
thank you very much. Well, do you have any questions for us since it's almost about time to end our
yeah, we
interview?
have 4 minutes. So if you have time to tell me at what stage you are in your program, in your implementation, it will be very interesting for me to hear.
Okay, let me stop the recording so we make sure
Okay,
we take the part that we needed. Okay.
I understand. Okay.
Okay.